Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this.
Liverpool takes first step in $85 million. Antoine Semenyo transfer for January. It's believed that Liverpool is making significant moves to secure Bournemouth striker Antoine Semenyo's signature when the January transfer window opens, with initial discussions already taking place regarding a substantial fee. Reds have held concrete talks about bringing in the forward during the winter window as they struggle. In the Premier League, Liverpool invested around $600 minus one in new players, including Alexander-Isak, Hugo Ekitike, and Florian Wirtz during the summer, yet has endured a difficult spell with 6 defeats in its previous 7 league games. Further investment appears inevitable in January, as the Reds look to salvage their campaign, while Bournemouth star Semenyo is tied down until 2030. He possesses a release clause valued at up to £65 million, $85.3 million, which becomes active in January. Following his contract extension at the close of last season, Liverpool is keen on triggering that release clause. According to YNWA, the Anfield outfit will encounter competition from Manchester United. While Manchester City is also monitoring developments, the forward is understood to have previously held discussions with Ruben Amorim prior to committing his future to the Cherries. Semenyo has already netted 6 times and provided 3 assists across 11 appearances this campaign, but he was absent for Bournemouth's stalemate with West Ham at the weekend. The forward's impressive performances will appeal to a Liverpool team languishing in 12th position. Having managed just 2 goals in its last 3 outings, Bournemouth manager Antoine Semenyo is reluctant to discuss the possibility of Semenyo's departure for now. However, "We are in November," he commented last week. "Antoine is our player. He will continue being our player in January. You can ask me about the market in January, but right now I'm not worried about the next markets. It's something that especially that I hate to talk about in August. January, the moments when the market is open. But it is not one of those moments. It's November. I'm more worried about the situation of the players to play tomorrow, the short term, the things that really matter, and in January, we will talk about whatever happens, the players we need. But it is not something that I'm worried about today." Semenyo stated recently that he's doing his best to block out speculation about what lies ahead. He said, "I don't think about it too much. I try to stay present as much as I can. You see the news all the time. I see it as well. I'm not oblivious. But I try to keep focused." Ibrahima Konate not to blame for Liverpool's situation, as Arne Slot ace defended. Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate is not to blame for the Reds' recent poor form. Ex-France fullback Bakary Sagna has insisted, with Arne Slot's men having lost 8 of their last 11 games in all competitions, Konate has been struggling, and though he started well against Nottingham Forest at the weekend, one mistake saw him quickly lose confidence in what has been something of a pattern in the early weeks of the campaign. Joe Gomez is one option to replace him in the starting sheet, but Slot said he hadn't trained in the week leading up to Saturday's game. Konate is not to blame for Liverpool's recent performances, Sagna said. "The edge of the Liverpool penalty area is never covered, and we saw it again against Nottingham Forest last weekend. You can't make judgments about Konate's quality just based off a few games when the midfield isn't doing their job from a defensive standpoint." For Nottingham Forest's 2nd and 3rd goals on Saturday, there was no cover from the Liverpool midfield to track the goalscorer. If you give your man a yard in the penalty area in the Premier League, then you will be punished. I don't want to blame Konate or any of the defenders for this, because they need more help from the rest of the team. Graham Souness is in agreement that the Liverpool midfield needs to work more effectively to stop the defense from being exposed, and that is not the only issue that Slot must solve. Sagna, though, doesn't believe that the Dutchman is in any danger of being fired at this point in the season, with more than enough time remaining to turn things around. "I don't think Slot's job is under any threat," Sagna, speaking to Outspedia, continued. "He just won the Premier League with Liverpool a few months ago. It's been a difficult few months for the team mentally and physically, but I firmly believe he deserves time to turn things around. For me, Slot is the right man to be in charge of Liverpool and to guide them through this period. The season was badly affected from the start when Diogo Jota passed away, which would have really affected all of them. When you win games, it's easier to deal with it, but when you lose, it can become a problem. I know football isn't always fair and you're judged on results, but I don't think changing coaches is the right move for Liverpool in this moment in time. Liverpool star offered instant escape route as Reds ramp up Antoine Semenyo move. Italy's giants are once again circling for Liverpool ace Federico Chiesa with AC Milan. Inter Milan and Roma all interested in bringing the winger back to Serie A as early as January. Chiesa, 28, signed for Liverpool from Juventus in what appeared to be a bargain deal back in the summer of 2024. But the Italy international has been unable to establish himself at Anfield. He struggled to break into Arne Slot's team as Liverpool romped to the title. -1 by Mohamed Salah. The former Fiorentina star has scored 2 goals and provided a single assist in just 139 minutes of football this season. That time on the pitch has come across 9 Premier League matches. With Chiesa yet to make a start in the division, the attacker's route onto the pitch was made no easier in the summer as Alexander-Isak, Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike were added to Slot's squad. And with Liverpool's current struggles, Chiesa is still finding it hard to come by playing time. It has now emerged that both Milan clubs are leading the race for Chiesa's signature, per reports in Italy. They are understood to view Chiesa, a proven entity in Serie A, as one who would immediately elevate their attacking depth. A move may help Chiesa earn more playing time ahead of the World Cup, should Italy qualify, though it appears that the attacker has excused himself from squads in qualification. You know this very well, Italy boss Gennaro Gattuso told Sky Italia. You always ask the same questions. I call Chiesa. I call him before every international break. The problem isn't Gattuso or his coaching staff. It's his problem, not ours. You know that very well. You always ask me the same questions and I keep giving you the same answer. Chiesa's task at Anfield could soon prove even more difficult, however. Liverpool are said to be in concrete talks to sign Bournemouth star Antoine Semenyo. The Cherries winger is available in January for a deal worth up to £65 million. Slot's side face competition from rivals Manchester United, while Manchester City are watching how the situation unfolds. Andoni Iraola does not want to give the potential transfer heir earlier than required. We are in November, he said last week. Antoine is our player. He will continue being our player. In January, you can ask me about the market in January. But right now, I'm not worried about the next markets. It's something that especially, you know, that I hate to talk about in August. January, the moments when the market is open. But it is not one of those moments. It's November. I'm more worried about the situation of the players to play tomorrow, the short term, the things that really matter, and in January, we will talk about whatever happens, the players we need. But it is not something that I'm worried about today. Arne Slot sack verdict as Liverpool starting lineup. Substitutions and transfer were questioned. Liverpool suffered an embarrassing 3-0 home defeat to Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest on Saturday, slipping down into the bottom half of the table and becoming a shadow of the team that dominated the Premier League a year ago. And some fans in the Liverpool Echo comments section are wondering how long Arne Slot's title-winning credit will keep him in the job. Slot's side has lost 6 of their last 7 league games, relegation form, with only basement club Wolves holding a worse record. Goals from Forest's Murillo, Nicolo Savona and Morgan Gibbs-White sank the Reds without a trace, leading to jeers and early exits from the Anfield crowd. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk says it's on the players to find a way out of their nightmare season, telling reporters, "This season we don't have any consistency. We concede far too many goals. We are losing battles and everyone is responsible for it, and I hope everyone sees that. We have to take responsibility to turn this around, and it is easy to point fingers, but you have to do it together." But some fans think that change might be looming in the dugout. Reader TGM says, to 3-0 hammerings on the spin, it looks like they've stopped playing for him. Once that happens, there's no way back for a manager. If they lose on Sunday in a similar manner, then that will be that. Commenter DieReal_NG has already made up their mind. The earlier we get Slot fired, the better. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves battling relegation with the likes of Leeds and Wolves. I used to support Slot until this last game against Forest, losing 3-0 at home. It's the height of incompetence. Slot humiliated our fans at Anfield, making senseless substitutions. He must leave our club now. I can't wait to hear the announcement that he's been sacked. Auditor writes, as much as we have always backed our managers, recently, every starting lineup has been questionable. Every substitution has been questionable, players playing out of position with players on the bench that could play in the correct positions. Results all dreadful, only the manager can be held accountable for this. Very disappointing, but how many more poor decisions can we stand by and accept? Rugerag says, sadly, nothing Slot has said or done suggests that he knows how to fix things. It is unusually early for a manager at LFC to be in jeopardy of losing his job, but with no positive indications to argue keeping him. It is time for the exception. Others can see Slot's vision, if not necessarily the results they want. Dr. Chilgood writes, calling for a manager change is the easy shout, but it won't fix the deeper cracks. And it won't undo the transfer choices of the past 3 years, letting Lecho and Darwin go, delaying reinforcements in DM and CB. Long quiet spells in the market, then a bit much change all at once, and letting wantaways run down their contracts. Is there still a positive, resource-oriented way out without flogging the blame guys? I'd say yes, but it needs everyone giving their best again and believing in themselves, in the collective, and in the club's ability to contain the meltdown virus. The only real path is to steady the group, ease the pressure, and rebuild confidence from within. The quality is buried, but still there. Double quotes Justice 97 Rip says, Liverpool aren't a club that sacks its managers after one poor run. We're lucky to support a club that wins trophies more often than most. Support the team through the tough times. We've won the league twice in the last 35 years. You're kidding yourself if you expect us to win it every season. Things will improve. Yes, not competing for the title is disappointing, but we now want to see improvement and build on that. Missingthason writes, what are we, only 11 games in? Give him a chance. Players are partly to blame as well, not just the manager, just saying. Scousian agrees. I don't want him sacked. I don't believe the problems are down to Slot. Certain players aren't pulling their weight. Arne Slot told to stop picking Liverpool star who doesn't seem like he can sprint. Ex-Liverpool left back. Stephen Warnock says Arne Slot must stop picking Alexander-Isak until the Swede is able to reach higher levels of physical intensity amid a difficult spell for the striker. Signed for a fee of around $169 million, £125 million, on transfer deadline day. Isak missed most of the summer with Newcastle trying to force through an exit. As a result, he has lost match fitness and was recently dealt another setback when he was missing with an injury issue. Slot has explained that the only way for him to improve is to get minutes. But with Liverpool struggling, it can't afford to lose more points while waiting for Isak to catch up with the rest of his teammates. I think Alexander-Isak needs a period of time out of the Liverpool squad. Warnock told which bookie. He needs to be working away from the team and make sure he does the preseason fitness work that he missed. Whether it's long runs to work on his cardio or sharp sprints to get him back up to speed. He needs miles in his legs. He's lacking a robustness and strength in his legs that you need to be able to deal with the physicality of the league. Sprint fully and compete at any point in the game. Even if it's in the last minute, he doesn't seem like he can sprint properly and break away on the counterattack or get back to help defensively. However, Liverpool seem to feel that they need him in the matchday squad, which is a tricky situation. It probably doesn't help that some of the other players aren't performing either. Hugo Ekitike should be the starting striker. That said, Slot obviously feels as though he needs options, which is why Isak is in the squad. There appears to be a lack of trust in Federico Chiesa, so he feels he needs Isak on the bench or in the starting sheet. Ekitike won't be able to play every minute of the hectic fixture schedule coming up, but the Frenchman is clearly ahead of Isak at the moment in terms of his level. Though he has tailed off a little in recent weeks, Ekitike has started well at Liverpool. He has already scored 5 goals for the Reds and has settled in best of the summer arrivals. Ekitike is likely to start midweek when Liverpool takes on PSV in the Champions League. Slot's men will then travel to West Ham United on Sunday in the Premier League. Insider admits the clock is ticking for Arne Slot. Liverpool seemingly cannot stop the rot. The defending Premier League champions have lost 6 of their last 7 top-flight games. The latest defeat was a humiliating 3-0 loss at Anfield to relegation candidates Nottingham Forest, following on from a similar result against Manchester City before the international break. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what's gone wrong for Arne Slot's side, who coasted to the Premier League title last season and won 5 out of 5 to start this campaign. If business doesn't pick up soon, then Slot could genuinely find his job at risk. Arne Slot cannot stop the rot. Sporting. Director Richard Hughes spent £450 million on new signings over the summer to improve the title-winning squad, but that all looks to no avail currently as Slot struggles to find the right formula out on the pitch. And while Slot remains a Liverpool hero for the manner in which he delivered that 20th title, there is no question that he is currently fighting for his future, under contract until 2027. The Dutchman has got some work ahead of him to prove he's worth keeping around long-term. If he fails to alleviate the pressure, then the decision-makers at Fenway Sports Group won't hesitate to make a change. Patience is not limitless, says James Pearce. According to James Pearce in The Athletic, patience is beginning to wear thin in Anfield's corridors of power. There was no open show of dissent towards Arne Slot, he wrote of the atmosphere at Anfield on Saturday. The Dutch head coach still has enough credit in the bank following last season's Premier League title triumph for there to be any serious calls for change after a dismal run of 6 league defeats in 7 games. But the general mood of restlessness yesterday provided a warning that there is not a limitless supply of patience. The clock is ticking as he battles to put right what has gone so alarmingly wrong. Liverpool dearly need to get back on track for the sake of their manager's future first and foremost. Slot has got to work out what to do to get the best out of his new signings, with the likes of Alexander-Isak and Florian Wirtz flattering to deceive up to now.
Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.